take a look at the racer cards. They do by going like this. Nice. AaronDobbe, or perhaps Dobbe, but I'm pretty sure Dobbe, what I've always said, is a very good puzzler, is the Grand Jolly Meister, as you can see on the Discord. Has been in Mystery Tournament quite a few times. First joined in MTX, so this will be 6th time. Win rate of 50% is honestly pretty high. Means normally goes a few ways, but this is losers, so someone who loses this will actually be out of the tournament. Ringadon, brand new, but played pretty well in their first race, which I believe was last night. Was that Sakari Remastered that we just played? And yeah, losers match. This is it, friends.
How did AaronDobbe end up down here in the lower bracket?
Let's see.
Yeah, there's a way to check that, I suppose.
Ooh, lost to Soapy Gnome.
All right.
And if I compare that with the draw list,
it was a close match. I remember that. Oh, it was Little Samson they played.
Oh, classic.
And basically it came down to a game over on a boss. That was the big decider.
Yeah, this view will start being a lot more interesting in like February. But even now, it's already telling us stuff.
The fact that you can transition in and out of it is impressive enough.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. I like the OC remix, but sometimes it's too dubstep for me. Dubstep kind of just dominated music culture for like years, and now there's just so much dubstep left over. It's a little bit too much for me. I guess I gotta sit.
Yeah, I was never into it when it was big, even. So, definitely not a fan. It's fine. I do know a little bit about this game, despite not actually testing it.
Oh, really?
It looked cool. I was on the lookout for potential top 8 games. We like to find the really good ones that are a little special in some way, and we put those in our big top 8 event at the end of the tournament. And this one looked cool enough that I was like, yeah, let's take a look. So I was hanging out with Jorf, MT's unofficial tester, has tested actually like 20-30 games, like as much a tester as any other tester.
His time is irrelevant. When I see the time, we know how to interpret it, and they are relevant testing times. So I would say is a tester at this point. Just doesn't ever fill out the sheet. It only plays with Myth.
Yeah. So he doesn't want the bad part of testing, right? The part where there's like some crappy game and you got to make some. He wants none of that, right? But if I say, hey, someone submitted, yeah. So I go to him just like as a friend, and I'm like, hey man, there's some pretty cool games here. You want to play the good ones with me? And he's like, hell yes. So I've cherry picked some good ones to have him take a look at, basically. And then funny enough, like half of those we end up maybe not liking so much even. So
yeah,
maybe that says a lot about what it's like.
Well, because you never know, especially before you play them. But like the other day, I played one that I thought should go in top 8. And I said to Myth, you should look at this, and I think you and Jorf both played it. And it was pretty good. Pretty good. Honestly, it is, there's a responsibility to playing all these games, especially the ones that
Hopscotch submitted.
You said it, not me. No, especially the ones that are just it's hard. Not all the games are always great. They're not always fun. Here's what I've learned through being a tester versus being a submitter, because The first year I did Mystery Tournament, I submitted some iffy games. That was easy enough to learn from, and I didn't do that so much. But you're still tempted to sometimes submit a game that you think maybe this will work, the testers will figure it out. I think I am very unlikely to do that now. I think that if I am not fully confident in a game, I will not submit it anymore. And there are plenty of games that you can be fully... There's a lot of games out there, guys. There's a lot of good games. I mean, even the ones... You know, we all have different preferences, but like... I would say it's not for the faint of heart. You're not going to want to play a bunch of games if you don't just like playing random video games.
Yeah. Anyway, so this game that's coming up that is almost ready to get going, actually. So maybe...
Yeah, they both ready. I just have to crop the streams and then we'll be good to go.
Okay. So this was one I wasn't actually playing it. This was one where I would play one and Jorf would just hang out and watch me and we would screen share. And then this was one where he was playing and I was watching. But it's a 3D sort of platformy exploration thing. It's got gravity changing. It's got running and jumping really fast.
Based on testing times, I would say probably a little too short for top 8 then, right? We don't expect this to be a long race.
Yeah, well, Spicefather is a top 8 player, so this 22-minute time is going to be on the low end in testing. The Spin Beast was more like 33, who is usually on the higher end of things, so probably somewhere in there for our players. So here's the game. It's called Sarah's Run. It's a freeware platformer, sort of puzzly thing.
I am sharing this on Discord. And I am exiting. Erase.
It's scary when you're the one who's holding it all up. You feel like a responsibility to like let it.
Yeah. This is pretty fast though, actually. This was pretty fast setup. Alright. Okay, yeah. So you talk about this. I've never seen this.
Yeah, well, I guess the sensitivity is a little bit high for Ringadon. It's swinging around all over the place. Do you have Ringadon screen cropped properly? I feel like the bottom of it is like missing.
I did, but I am going to look again. I think they moved some stuff around again.
Okay. AaronDobbe's screen's a little bit nicer to look at. Though it looks like the field of view is pretty high, so it's got a little bit of like a fish thing kind of going on.
This is everything we have.
Okay. We'll just have to put up with it.
I even went a little bit further, and now we've got a little bit of their layout, but oh well. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so it's mouse camera. Third-person mouse camera, for me, can be difficult to acclimate to. I tend to move the mouse too often in third-person mouse camera games. I think Ringadon sensitivity might be a little high, but he's getting through the levels. But it looks like this is very speed-based, momentum-based.
I can't speak to the feel of the controls because I wasn't actually the one on it, but it's not really the kind of game where it's like, oh man, I can't do this jump or whatever. It's more about like trying to figure out where to go, how to manipulate the environment to get gravity where you need it to be, so that, for example, AaronDobbe can be walking on what was the ceiling and hit that switch to open this door. And there's like some instructions on the walls that are roughly telling you like, hey man, if you were on the ceiling, this would work out. So a little bit unfortunate that AaronDobbe jumped off the ceiling and landed on the floor and reset everything.
I see. So running up the curve is going to shift the gravity, but falling, you can still fall off, and then it's like you're walking on the side of the room or whatever. That makes sense. I've noticed that when you say instructions on the wall, in a lot of freeware games like this that people have been submitting, I don't tend to find them myself, but people submit them and I'll see them that way, is they have these sort of diegetic instructions where they like put them on the walls and stuff instead of having them pop up in the HUD, which is kind of cool. Oh, okay, Ringadon is saying camera is bugged.
It's like down in the floor. Is it all that different from AaronDobbe's?
I don't know. I think this actually seems right.
It's zoomed out really far now.
Probably mouse wheel.
So there's like a springy pad, and you kind of like energy in becomes energy out. So if you double jump, you go a little bit higher, and then you bounce higher, and then you can double jump again to bounce higher again. AaronDobbe's done with level 3. I'm still trying to figure out like in what way is this camera bugged, you know?
Yeah. The itch page for this does say it's unfinished. And it's just kind of an abandoned project, and this is where it's at this point. I can say when I look at Aaron's screen, it looks very much like the mouse third-person camera I would expect. And when I look at Ringadon's screen, it's not always looking that way, but I don't know if that's...
It was like all over the place, yeah.
Okay.
It looked unwieldy. So we saw AaronDobbe just then do something that is like kind of core to manipulating gravity in this area, is that you've got these rounded parts, and if you run on the rounded part, gravity's going to change with you around it. But if you jump off of it, gravity kind of stays where you were at the top of the slope, and that gives you ways to sort of play around with where gravity is going.
So is this more puzzly than it is execution, then?
I would say so. Which was a disappointment, because I was hoping it would be both.
Right.
When I was looking at it, I was also hoping it would have like music.
Yeah, it only has sounds. You know what I might do is I might turn on some Rainwave and keep this stream audio so we get some sound, but maybe with some music in the background. So yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of platforming in the sense that there are death pits.
Right. Well, there was some electricity on one of the stages, but it wasn't a big threat. So I think Aaron's on this part where you need to get gravity changed and then like avoid all of this stuff. All of that will flip you back onto the ceiling where you don't want to be.
Got it.
There's a button there surrounded by electricity, so don't miss the button. He missed the button.
So if it were me, I would think, okay, I've got to turn that off. But is it really just that you need to land exactly on the button? Interesting.
It does protrude a little bit, but yeah, I would be nervous about just like dying as soon as I landed on the button anyway.
Well, you think, I don't know, if you kind of meta contextualize it, I would think, well, it's just a plane under everything. When I step on the button, I'm still going to be on the electricity too.
Yeah, Aaron's nervous about it.
I see.
There it goes.
And then he's got to make this jump then?
I guess so.
Oh.
Let's see if that door stays open. I think technically he's on the wall just then, so I can't remember if there's like a button to just get out of gravity, and I do not have. Let me check the pace pen.
Oh yeah, we should. I don't know if I posted it in the chat.
By that I mean the Rentry. Nope, the controls, it just says the controls are in the game.
Yeah, this is a very minimal pace, which is just fine. You know, not all games need a lot. The issue with putting a lot in the pace pen is that if you then miss one thing, it's like, well, that should have been in there because everything else was. But if you don't give anything, the expectations are that you'll have to figure it out all out on your own anyway. And I think it leads to racers being more comfortable when there's less.
Yeah, there's it's sort of an interesting thing because it does really color the race experience in an important way.
Yeah. If we didn't have them at all, I think there would be a lot of games that we can't include.
Yeah.
So I think it's better than if they were never introduced, because I think there's really a lot of stuff that we're able to work in just because, oh, there's a few little hang-ups here and there that can be corrected.
So Ringadon looked like they were pretty far towards the end of this level and then didn't quite see where to go and is now backtracking and is running on like the side of the level in a pretty crazy way.
How many levels are there, do you remember?
Ooh. Maybe like 13 or something?
Huh? Oh, the slippery oil! Every game needs slippery oil. The thing I like when it's ice and not oil is that oil you would be like tracking around everywhere and it would stay slippery once you were off of it. But ice, that wouldn't be the case.
I hate the idea of spreading the slippery terrain all around elsewhere to the level and making that slippery, just ruining everything.
I think that would be a fun mechanic if you did it right in a certain game. I don't know if I've seen it done, but I'm sure it has been. No fall damage, that's a good thing. That was that was quite a fall. Yeah, but we have to assume Snowdozer is just sort of consistently on, you know, a regular basis crawling through itch and trying to find, you know, what's been released recently and seeing if anything is reasonable to be raised.
Yeah, Snowdozer really pushed themselves to submit a multiple of 16 games for whatever reason for Mystery Tournament 16, and then found more than 48. So went all the way up to 64. Got a new thing for AaronDobbe, this yellow thing. I don't remember what its deal is. You go through the yellow and you turn blue, and then the yellow fixes it. Okay. Ringadon is looking at this switch on the wall.
What does the lightning do for you?
So when you go through the yellow wall, you get weird, and it fixes you. I don't know what happens. Like if you go through 2 yellow walls, does that kill you? Like I don't know. Honestly, I can't remember if Jorf even finished this when we were playing, or if it became clear when there was no music for so long.
That's like furry Snowdozer here.
Snowwozer. Yeah, so maybe I don't know what to expect from some of these later levels. Aaron shorts a jump. Ringadon is in a Metroid Prime Morph Ball area.
Oh yeah, you're totally right with the 2D. I've seen some clips of the Sonic Generations remake and the 2D sections getting a little screwed up and being able to fall like toward the camera and not being able to land on the level at all anymore. When you put 2D and 3D, it's always, I feel like, a challenge.
Yeah, you gotta do it right. Okay, so Ringadon's on this level with the lightning now. Assuming both players have done all of the levels from 1 up to the one that they're on, then I think maybe Ringadon is caught up a little bit.
It's true. There's like, it's like an active level select, so there's a chance they just didn't go to 1. Well, I think he got hit by those lasers, but
yeah,
I guess the hitboxes might be a little deceptive on him.
Well, they're not deadly lasers. They're like, if they detect you, they like close a door or something.
I see. Think. We've got Super Mario Sunshine.
I was thinking the TikTok clock. Those squares, those cubes that rotate.
Oh, that's true. It is more reminiscent of TikTok clock.
It's a button on the wall.
Oh, nice. So you go sideways on the spinning. That was pretty fast. I mean, I guess he's been actually playing this and I haven't, but Aaron does have, he's got the puzzle brain, he's got Grand Jolly Meister status. Unfortunately, this isn't called Sarah's Escape. If it was, I think we would be seeing already a done.
Alright, Aaron rides it 3 times this time, finds the other button in the alcove. Has a choice to make to go on the ceiling or the floor, and since the door's on the ceiling, gonna go ahead and go right there.
Having Rainwave on is good. It really gives it a different feel. Each song is making this game feel so different.
And then I can't turn on. I guess I could just turn on Rainwave separately if I really wanted, but I'm just sticking with the footstep sounds. And then every now and then there's a patron. Level complete for Ringadon. We'll see how long it takes them to catch on to this cube thing. It does become apparent that there's nothing you can do unless you make something happen.
One thing I really like about Mystery Tournament is that games like this, I can't really see myself making time for it in my life under normal circumstances.
Right.
Something that I would find and play for only half an hour and then be completely done with. But during a race, it's perfect. I mean, that's what racing is for. And so you just get to see cool little stuff that people make. And sometimes we can find the people that make them and actually talk to them. And that's why we got some people from here even involved on the testing for Baba Is You, because we found the demo years ago.
Yeah, sometimes people will make stuff specifically for Mystery Tournament.
That's true, too. Snowdozer has done that. You have done that with the Doom Wad last top 8.
Jal is the one responsible, I believe, for Super Monkey's Bouncy Day.
And Super Monkey's Ball, the
the
precursor. I think a lot of people have. Nighty has, Freeball has. K-Vol, who makes Snakebird. They had some demos that only like his friends had access to that we had in Mystery Tournament.
So Ringadon is on the cubes, has hit one of the switches.
Yeah, so Ringadon sees the gimmick of the level, which is good.
Ooh. Can you wall press it? You cannot.
Darn.
I know, you feel like if you just ran fast enough and threw your body into it, it should totally work.
I definitely would try it. I wouldn't assume you couldn't. Especially with stuff like this that's in Unity, because another sort of, I say meta-analysis, but that's kind of what you need to do. It's Mystery Tournament. You need to be looking at it from the perspective of what does it even mean that this is a video game? What do video game designers do? But in Unity, a lot of the stuff is baked into the engine. So if you see something physics related, a lot of times you can just kind of do it from anywhere and you can kind of exploit things like that.
Yeah, it's a good point. I've been trying to figure out what the hell is going on in the room AaronDobbe has been in for a long time. It looks like he's trying to figure that same thing out. I'm seeing at least 2 buttons that haven't been hit, so we need some way to flip gravity and then get...
What I haven't seen him do is fall out of the loop-de-loop halfway through. And I wonder if that would be useful.
Yes. Gravity right now is where Aaron wants it to be, but then he needs to traverse all the way to the top of the room from that state.
Oh, there we go.
Oh. Okay, so those were... he was upside down for so long, I just thought that was the floor, but it's not.
So there's a reset button to always go back to original gravity?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, even with Ringadon's kind of funky camera stuff, Aaron's got strong execution and has the strong puzzle skills.
It's so annoying you can't interact with these things on the walls.
Yeah, I mean, that's the puzzle, but anything that you feel like should work, that's the thing. I think that's a destructive attitude. It's hard not to have it, but if you're playing a game and you're like, but it should be this way, it's like, but it's not.
But I'm
I
in
gotta
it.
move
But
on.
I'm in it. Like
It's gonna all that. That's just like tilt central. You got to be careful.
Absolutely. Oh, this is cute. Ringadon is. Look at this. What Ringadon is trying to do is going to go
I think
off
it might
the
work.
edge and then flip gravity and do like a 90-degree rotate.
Okay, that
just
time
barely.
too quickly, which means that you can do it quick enough.
I think so.
Well, because I
I
was
might be
concerned
giving
that
up
there
on
was
it.
too much of a delay and it wouldn't be possible. But if you can do it too quickly, then you'd think,
There should be a
Yeah.
spot in between.
nice. Oh, okay, yes.
But yes,
Woohoo!
okay.
I don't know if he'll be able to do that for this one though.
Oh, there's a button like right there though. Probably should have got that button.
Okay,
It's
so
gonna
it's
get that
not
button.
it's not that it sends you back to original gravity. I think it just sends you back to, because you can change what original is, I think, by stepping on the red pads.
Okay. So yeah, you glow white, and that's when you're like, I am glued to this temporarily, and when I leave this surface, it's gonna go back to whatever
Mhm.
I've set gravity to.
And then when you're in real gravity, you are not glowing.
Yeah.
And it looks like you have limited glow mode potential.
That bar at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is pretty generous. You can go a lot of places with it.
Yeah, the original gravity, that's like before they sold out. Back when they
And
stood
gravity
for something.
was still underground.
Yeah.
This is a big room Aaron's in right now. This is the kind of thing where when I'm playing a puzzle game and I just see all this stuff and I'm just like,
Not to criticize this game because it seems still within reason, but I would say my least favorite puzzle mechanic is when it's just like, okay, here's a new mechanic, here's a new one, and now you have 4. Now I'm just gonna make the level 8 times bigger than every other level, and everything's gonna be there, and you figure it out. And it's like, no, just give me fun new mechanics that are small, and it's not gonna take me 20 hours to do one puzzle. They just, sometimes the place is getting a little big. I'm pretty bad with spatial reasoning. I would have a pretty hard time keeping track of where the hell everything is here, especially the fact that you don't get to see it from a consistent perspective.
yeah. I'm especially early on in the race that we were talking a lot about what AaronDobbe was doing, and I think it was just like a desire to stick with one side of the screen, because if you try to bounce back and forth, you lose this understanding of like where they even are in space, and it becomes impossible to like even form reasons about like where they are, what they're doing. But I can see now that Ringadon is in the same gigantic room, and I think Aaron has hit maybe 2 of the 6 buttons required. 5 or 6. I can't tell if every side of this cube up here.
When it comes to navigating 3D spaces, studies have found that it does legitimately enhance your own real-life spatial reasoning, navigating 3D spaces in games. The same does not hold true for 2D spaces. So sorry if you love NES platformers, that's probably not helping you practically in any way. But apparently you do become a better real-life navigator of like keeping track of where things are if you play a lot of games in 3D.
Interesting. I definitely have gotten better at keeping track of myself in video games by playing other video games.
That's true.
used to-
I mean, no,
I
that's
used to-
just
I played
absolutely
Doom with my friend group, and it was like a meme that I would never find the exit anyway. They would all find the exit, and any one of them could hit the switch to end the level, but they wouldn't. They would just wait and spectate me and watch me run around lost, stumbling, running through the same areas over and over again, just until I finally get in there, and then everyone laughs and ends the level. And then
That's-
like 300 hours of Doom later, right now I'm just as likely to get to the exit first, and it's helped me a lot testing a lot of these games.
Yeah, for sure. There was a old joke that testers can't Doom because I think probably Crankdud would submit like Doom wads that very
on
good
like the
Doom
easiest
people can play.
difficulty.
Yeah. But luckily now, at least this year, Myth is doing some testing and can actually play Doom. When I played that Castlevania Doom that got played a while, it just like it took me a while to even do the goal, and Myth was like, "We have to extend this goal for people that aren't ass at playing video games." So I did something about when you don't grow up. I grew up on console, not on PC. Like I have a PC now, obviously, but like I grew up playing console games. It's a different vibe.
Ooh, that was a nice drop from AaronDobbe. Just like I couldn't even see the cube, but just landed right on it.
I wonder if there was some sort of indicator on the floor. I don't think there was. This game hasn't really been using things like that.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to do, though.
GoldenEye existed. I don't think my mom, back in N64 days, I don't think my mom would have been happy if I was shooting people in a video game.
Oh, you had that kind of situation going on?
I did. One time, this is a pretty good story, so I'll tell it because we're losing track of this level anyway. There was, I was trying to get a Mario Party game, and on the back of the box, it said that there was a mini game called Verbal Assault because you used the mic to like control a tank. My mom was like, "You can't play a game that has verbal assault in it." And I was like, no. There's not literally, you're not actually assaulting somebody verbally. It's a game. And she just like would not. She's like, "Oh, well, we'll see." And I'm like, "No, Mom, I'm telling you, this is Mario Party. I promise it's fine." Because I was like 13 or something. Like I wasn't that young. It was fun.
Aaron has got an idea to hit this switch. With the double jump, that is going to be enough. I think that might be the last one. Yeah, every side of that cube is lit up. Whereas Ringadon, I think, has maybe hit one. Maybe. But there's a lot of red on that cube still. Oh god, there's another cube. There's another side of the cube. It's not done.
It's an interesting gimmick to say, here's the big space. You have to land on all 6 sides of this cube in the middle of the room. And Ringadon's, were you just saying he's on the same... It's on the same level.
Has been in here a long time and hasn't got a single side of this cube yet. So it's not.
Well, if you got to fall on it from like 30 years away, I think you don't necessarily have to. I think Aaron has just had some good, okay, I can do it this way, so I'm going to do it that way. That's another thing that runs through your mind in a blind race. You might see a way to do something and think, well, that can't be the way I'm supposed to do it, but it will work, and is it really worth it for me to try and figure out the correct way, or should I just do this jank thing 3 times until I get it? Normally, that's what I will go with, but some racers are smarter than me and don't always go with that, so... It's a push and pull. Okay, so it's this side. I don't think I've seen one. Oh, there we go.
It should work. You got a double jump.
Is that all of them?
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
It doesn't have to be.
I just like, really want it to be, I guess. There it is. There's the exit.
Yeah, it is though. It's like at work. I work in IT support, and sometimes people will be like, I'll be like, "Oh, this is broken." They'll be like, "But it was just working." I'm like, but yeah, that's what broken is. It's like it works, and then it doesn't anymore. There's an in between where it just stops working. It's gotta work. It was just working. It's like, no, it broke. That's what
sometimes things break.
Yeah. Having to find the level, that's quite a thing.
Yeah.
There was
I think you get to see level 13 or something, but it's really hard to get to. Oh,
there it is.
It's over.
Is that done?
It is. 26:59 is the time from AaronDobbe. Has escaped from capital evil. So escape is sort of in the title.
There was a tester comment that said last level may not be... Or Snowdozer said last level may not be good for MT. The people who tested it said it was fine. I also, seeing this, think it's fine. I guess you could think of it non-linear in a sense, but it's a puzzle. I mean, it's, you know what you need to do.
Yeah, and I mean, technically, you just kind of like spin the camera around and you see like 80% of what's there, right? You don't get an idea of like what's behind what, but you can explore the space and get an idea of what is where very, very quickly.
You cannot forfeit in all caps. XChat has anti-rage, or I mean IRC is anti-rage built in. If you all caps forfeit, it just won't accept it.
And that was from Ringadon, who, yeah, just didn't want to deal with that last level. Was in there for a while, and was unable to make any progress whatsoever. So.
What, me in the last level?
You were on the last level.
Okay. I think it was last level. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was too. I was just like,
Yeah, I can tell you, Aaron spent a long time on that level, so you still had another probably 7-8 minutes ahead of you of that level.
Ooh.
What'd you think?
Hey, that was a lot of fun. That is that is the sort of game that this is definitely one I will go back to just for fun. I want to beat it. I know I was on the last level, but I want to beat it. Darn it.
Yeah, it's unfortunately they say it's an unfinished project on the itch page, so that's as far as it went. So you actually played quite well, but you were up against some pretty strong racers, and this is a losers match. This was your first mystery tournament experience. What do you think?
You know, I don't regret having gotten in on this at all. Like, community's been super welcoming. I've enjoyed the heck out of everything I've done. Just, I've gotten unlucky in 2 draws in a double elimination tournament. That's how it goes.
Yeah, well, I think they were both pretty close matches. You were in the Super Mario World hack, right?
Yeah.
Last night? Yeah.
And I was about a level and a half behind Bright Shadow there, and apparently about a level behind Aaron. So I feel like I did a pretty good showing for my first attempt ever.
Yeah, and I mean, 0-2 is like where a quarter of all tournament entrants end up. So like it's just like statistically very likely that it will happen.
Yep.
But I think you played pretty good, and also like you've been joining some of the other races and stuff, and like just because you got eliminated doesn't mean you have to stop doing that. So there's going to be plenty more stuff to do.
Definitely
Very
gonna be
true.
jumping into as many of these as I can. So.
Aaron, hello.
Hello.
Well raced, my friend.
Hey, thank you. GG Ringadon. That was a tough one.
Yeah, it was. I thought I was getting good until the last level. I was like, what?
Yeah. I think I lost some time to 9 probably. I was overcomplicating that one a lot, but 10 was a big ball of impossible to understand space.
Yeah, it was weird. That was I was gonna say, because Ringadon was kind of like, had only been there for like a minute or so. I said you probably had another, even though that was last level, probably had another 7-8 minutes on it. If Aaron's run is any indication, it just seems like you're just constantly trying to even understand where you are in space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me, I guess. This game is pretty unlike a lot of other games we have in Mystery Tournament, right? Like a 3D gravity changing, like it really demanding on understanding 3D space in a way that a lot of games aren't. So is this something you have experience with? Is this something you struggle with? Aaron first, I guess.
For me first. So I've played a few games that are like this. Like Portal is a big one. And even the second game had some gravity mechanics and understanding, but like in terms of changing gravity in 3D space, that seemed pretty novel to me.
Yeah.
Like it felt like Super Mario Galaxy, but being able to turn the change gravity on and off meant that you could do puzzles with it, and I wasn't really used to thinking in that framework.
How about you, Ringadon?
So similarly, I've played. I love the heck out of Portal games and go back to them about once a year. So the thinking with portals and trying to do novel ways of approaching things, I think helped me a bit. But the fact that I had control over gravity made it was new. Like I feel like this is the sort of game that that Valve in the good old days would have bought the team that made it and made a Portal-like game out of it.
Right.
Yeah, like Tag or it is very different. Although you will see a lot of kind of 3D short Portal. Portal has a big enough reach that you see a lot of sort of Portal clones or people wanting to make a Portal game and only make it in like kind of a 10-level demo. And that's not an uncommon thing for us to see in Mystery Tournament every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a shame that this is apparently unfinished and not going to be finished, because I think it could be a real good game with maybe a bit more polish and
Some
some music that would help.
Yeah, it's true.
Like there's some jankiness going around corners, but that's like to be expected for a game in this format. But
Yeah.
I don't know. If things were a little smoothed out, like this could be real fun, and it's kind of a shame that it's not.
Do you feel that your Grand Jolly Meister status helped you understand this game at all?
No.
Yeah, I can
being,
see that.
being the
Helps
Jolly
you with
Meister,
anything in life ever.
it helped me remember long numbers and patterns that I need to copy to somewhere else when like doing taxes and stuff. There's that.
Okay, that's something.
But
Yeah.
like in terms of this game, like Jolly encourages disregarding your notions of how space works. And this requires a solid understanding of how it does work.
That's so true.
So it's sort of the opposite.
If you raised someone and only exposed them to Jolly games and they had to come out into the real world, I think they would be a very troubled individual.
And we need someone to like edit the like Plato's allegory of the cave image for that scenario.
Shadows on the wall.
Oh.
Oh man.
Kings of
good
Shadows
time.
escape.
Yeah. Self-actualization rescue. So when it comes to upcoming